Hey, what's up guys, it's me, Mainful, and welcome back to another From the Depths video, in which today we will be reviewing one of my designs, namely the Inomation Cruiser Submarine. And I dare say it's my best design that I have ever made. It is extremely effective. Well, it is a submarine, and submarines are kind of OP, They aren't the most OP thing, but they can definitely avoid some stuff, namely crab shells and most advanced cannon shells. Well, if they do have the, what's it called again, the thing that makes the shell able to go through water but removes some damage, as well, it removes some damage so it won't do full damage. And if you armor up your submarine, which this submarine is extremely armored up, it has got, what, I think 4 layers of metal, and only metal, and around the AI it's got 2 layers of heavy armor. Oh, to be fair, 1 layer is actually only the slopes. Why I paused the game so I could show you it out of the water, but I'll let it down into the water right now. And this submarine also looks quite nice, I must say so. I really like the back section with all the propellers, and it only has propellers. It doesn't have any internal diddy blades, which would propel it at high speeds, but it's still reasonably fast. It goes 13 meters a second. Normally, if it doesn't crash into some terrain, that is. It has got a lot of torpedoes. It has got even more missiles. I mean, this is a huge missile array. I don't even know how many missiles these are. I have also got another second missile array, a bit smaller, but it still has a lot of missiles in it. And some super fast Mark 1 torpedoes, which, well, they are very fast. Very fast. They don't pack that much of punch, but they are LAMS penetrators. That means that they can somewhat defeat LAMS, which will come into play later, as these missiles are special missiles, specially designed missiles. Specially designed to defeat LAMS, that is, mainly the Bulwark's LAMS, as this submarine is a Bulwark killer. Really is. It's the best thing that has ever happened to the Bulwark. Or the worst. Probably the worst. And against most unexplored ships, the only exception I think that can really damage it is, if we go to Godly only, it's the Trebuchet. Yes, that has the high velocity HE shells, which do quite damage the Inomation, sadly. Oh yes, and it also has some underwater guns, some underwater miniguns. You don't see them that often. They are reasonably big. They are my normal minigun. You probably know it if you've seen some of my designs. It's the 121mm advanced cannon, which fires at 1391 RPM. And this still needs to be changed. As said, this is quite an old design, probably 3 months old. So some updates ago, it was before 2.0 that I made this, so it's a bit old, but not too old. I mean, these cannons, if they hit the underside of a ship, well, that's your ship's underside gone, and everything that is above that underside is also gone. It likes to kill AI and other squishy stuff like engines and ammo, to be sure. It does kill ammo quite nicely. Now let's talk about the missiles that are quite special. As you can see, they have a thrust per second of 3000, which is not normal. It has 4 fuel tanks, which it's okay for it's not a long range missile. It can only reach 1000 meters, 1200 I think it's just 1000. I'm not quite sure about that. It also has a torpedo propeller so that it can hit stuff that's under the water, which is always really nice actually. 1 turn of course, so that it will always turn. I mean, it's not really needed, but I'll still add it. And a lot of fragmentation warheads, which have a frag cone angle of 180. I may change that on some. I may just now. But it's normally okay to just leave it on 180, since at 180 the frags really do hurt the designs. And of course an active radar seeker. These missiles are specially designed to defeat LAMs that are specially designed to defeat missiles. Yes. Although continuous laser LAMs are somewhat of a problem, as they have a better accuracy and they can hit more, but they don't do as much damage, and they aren't that good against stuff like cram cannons, where Q-switch LAMs shine. They really do. I've tried that. And these are the LAM's Waker torpedoes. They are, as said, very fast, very long, and very fast. That's basically the only thing that's really special about them. And these torpedoes here are just normal torpedoes. They have 2 torpedo propellers, 1 fuel tank, ballast tanks, and the normal stuff on them. And this thing also has a quite reasonable amount of repair bots. They are not, it's not a repair heavy design. It also has these, which are just some sonar buoy torpedoes. I don't even know why I really added them. I think it was to experiment with anti-torpedo torpedoes, which did not really work. But it does have, I added this later, this has passive sonar, so it can detect enemy torpedoes. Oh, and it also has smoke, which is always nice. And smoke sensors, what's it called again? Smoke sensors, smoke something. Lag? Yes, lag of course. Laser warner. Not smoke. What am I thinking even? And well, it's somewhat vulnerable, this section, but it's not really needed since I don't really use that much detection equipment. I like to keep it at 1, so my designs mostly only have detection set at 1, so yes. Not the best, but not the worst. Yes, now let's look at the internals of the submarine, not the weapon systems and the externals. Yeah, let's... Come on. I have to put up HUD. I was just here, my god. Yes, here we are. Weapon systems, ammunition processors, a lot. Really massive amount of ammunition processors. I don't even know if it actually needs much ammunition processors. I may need to check that, but it's okay. It's not that much of a resource hog, I say, as it probably is quite a resource hog. It uses hydrofoils for diving, or dive planes you may call them. Yes. Why is that not showing up? I have to put it to no structural again. Not only important, no structural. It has this engine. It's old and not very good. It does not really show how good my engine building is, as it's really old actually. I should change it, but I haven't gotten to change it, so you have to stick with this engine. But as I said, it's not really the best. We also have, yes, the armor of this design. It has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of armor before you hit the gantries. This is mostly the case with most sections, I believe. Here. Metal. Yeah, I may need to move a bit closer. I think, yes, here are the torpedoes, which you don't need that much armor for your torpedoes here. So it's only 3 layers, and of course, where the torpedoes are, there torpedoes are, and yes, that's basically it. It also does have shields, but they are currently set to never turn on. You can turn them on, but they are not the best shields, so I mean, they are basically anti-weight flares shields against the small projectiles. They are not the best shields ever, so I would not recommend turning them on. Also, they are not really configured, so that's not the best. It also has some stabilizing diddy blades in here, reasonably large. It has them front and back, so if one gets damaged or destroyed, it can still remain steady and combat functional, if you say that like that. As I said, it has some smoke dispensers and laser warners. It has some sonar buoys, and yes, it also has missiles, of course. And let me show you the AI section if I could find it. This is not the AI yes, it is actually the AI section. It has heavy armor triangle corners, which I think they still provided the full armor bonus as this design was created, I believe, but I may not be completely correct in that. And of course, heavy armor around the mainframe, also on the bottom and top, and some surge protectors and fuel, which you don't really need, but I still put them there. So also some fuel, AI card slot and aim point selection, and I changed this at target a random block. I should probably put this down a bit to 10. I found that works a bit better. Target prioritization set to 1 at block target. How many blocks the target has. Naval AI GUI, just default settings for submarine basically, and it has ACVs for the boilers. Where yes, this has also got steam engines, so it is kind of a resource hog, I guess. And it has PIDs for the wall at the bottom, and some propellers to make the recoil not as bad from the guns, because that's basically a problem that my spam cannons always have. Although they do have some recoil suppressors, I believe. Yes, they do have some recoil suppressors, but I find that they don't really work with spam cannons, so that's a problem. So I have to add some roll PIDs and thrusters, of course, and there's basically no roll, and that's always great. So that's all the internals you have seen, and let's get to the combat testing and combat effectiveness. So here we are in combat testing, and we will be testing against the Bulwark. The Bulwark being about 400,000 resource, and this only being around 200,000 resource. So you may consider it an unfair matchup, but in my testing, this has always killed the Bulwark perfectly without sustaining major damage. So let's test it out. I will be going at 4 times or 8 times speed if it gets a bit brewing, seeing as even though this has quite a lot of dagger, it does not kill it that fast. Well, the Bulwark is really big and really armored, so it's acceptable. So, here we go. As you can see, this thing is quite a nice Bulwark killer, and for that matter, a good Onyx Watch killer. Can kill every Onyx Watch ship without sustaining that much damage. And the weakness of submarines being 80% and despawning, it never reaches it. Oh yes, and it also can kill other submarines, and every submarine that is in the campaign enemies can even kill the Black Current and every other of the Steel Strider's submarines, which are really deadly. I mean, really deadly. Really, the Black Current is extremely, it looks nice and it's extremely deadly. So with that, I'll end up the episode. You can download the vehicle with the link in the description. It takes you to the From the Depths forum, where a thread will be visible and the blueprint will be downloadable in that thread. So for now, this was my info, and goodbye.